So this week, which is the 31st of August to the 6th of September, we are in the calm before the storm. We have eclipse season starting on the 7th to 8th of September. And that eclipse season will also kick off Ancestors Fortnight, which is also known as Pitru Paksha. It's the darkest fortnight of the year. The moon is waning, and it's a time where we honor our ancestors, our ancestral karma, which no doubt will be coming up really, really strongly during eclipse season, which will run from the 7th to 8th of September till the 21st, 22nd of September. I'll quickly mention I have the Unlock the Eclipse portal workshops below, and that includes ritual and readings for both the Aquarius lunar eclipse on the 7th to the 8th of September, as well as the Virgo solar eclipse on the 21st, 22nd of September. That includes personal written readings for both, astrology forecasts for both, and a calendar of events that runs across that period. So if you really want a little bit of extra help, if things are already feeling a bit sticky, this is the perfect tool to support you. Now, that all said, the moon this week is waxing. It's getting brighter, and the sun is going to be moving into a part of Leo called Purva Phalguni, which I'll talk about in a second. But it means that there's a really big focus starting this week on relationships, on unions, on contracts we have with others. It's only going to get bigger as we hit eclipse season. So if you've already felt stuff in your relationships, business partnerships, even like soul friendships changing, there's going to be a lot that gets churned around that as we hit eclipse season. Now, let's start with today's astrology, Sunday, 31st. The sun enters Purva Phalguni. It's going to be in this nakshatra, this lunar mansion, until the 13th of September. And this is a part of Leo. But what it is all about is it's about dealing with unions, dealing with karmic contracts, even where you want to create a partnership with another or where you sense that a partnership has to change. That's going to be a really big theme. It's almost like there's an end of a cycle coming in partnerships. This can also be a time of negotiating official agreements, um, or leaving someone or leaving an agreement because it no longer suits. And that's because Venus, who rules Purva Phalguni, is going to be sitting 12 houses from the sun. And so generally, that can mean that this is really a time where there's a focus on wrapping up contractual agreements, stepping away from partnerships, or ending a cycle of behavior in a partnership. Now, the moon today is going to be 4 houses away from the sun. So I would be saying as well, just consider that you might find today that the focus is really on your home life, on the people you live with, the way those contracts are playing out, maybe how they need to change, and even with your work, like what needs to shift and change around your work. Just know that whatever is shifting now is karmic. It's also a really good idea to get ahead of the eclipse season. So just take note this week, like what's showing up for you, what's changing, because it's going to get bigger from the 7th to 8th. There'll be a really big focus on relationships then through to the 21st. Now, the sun this week is also, and today is going to be sitting with the south node. And the sun will activate that south node on the 7th to 8th. So just pay attention to what's coming up right now. There can be, like with the south node, just a call to go within, a call to see how what's showing up externally in your partnerships actually comes from you. Like it starts with you and it's deeply karmic, but it's also there for your liberation. The moon today is in Anuradha, which is a part of Scorpio, and it will be moving to Jyeshta, also a part of Scorpio, in the evening. Now, while it's in Anuradha, it's actually really nice with the energy of the sun moving into Purva Phalguni. It brings balance to relationships. It can be a moon where you find compassion for someone that's been quite hard to have compassion for. You really find devotion for the people that you are partnered with. It's a moon where you can even start to see the higher power at play behind your relationships and have respect for that, feeling the way in which divine grace runs through those relationships. And there can be some luck that comes through today, particularly the sense of like receiving the karma, the good karma you're due in this lifetime because of the placement of the moon. Just be prepared that like the ego's idea of what good karma is quite different to what the universe's idea of good karma is. It's also a day you can find you feel very expressive, creative, and playful, even though things might be a little bit serious. On Monday the 1st, it's a big um, theme around closure. Mercury, which is sitting in Leo, in a part of Leo called Marga Nakshatra, will be in harmony with Chiron. It will be Trine Chiron, which is sitting in Aries in Ashwini Nakshatra. Just be prepared on Monday for important conversations to come up. You might hear also of someone passing on, of death, but also like there can also be the passing on, the changing of the guard, like the changing of what someone has been doing in your life, or they're sent hearing about someone leaving a job, or changing where they're living, or changing locations. It's that type of energy. And it's a day where there can be new, really good news around a resolution you have been working towards or waiting for. There can be an opportunity through conversation to even apologize for maybe how you've been contributing negatively to a situation. So just be prepared to be humble. Now, Mercury is going to be square Uranus, which says to me that this conversational energy or the messages that you get can kind of come out of the blue. And you might even find it the first time you receive that message or you run into that person that wants to talk, it might feel like they're attacking you, or you find yourself being a little bit defensive. Just pay attention to that. It's not attack. Like, no one is our enemy, everyone is there for our enlightenment. The moon on Monday will still be in Scorpio. It will be in a part of Scorpio called Jyeshta, and it will be sitting with the asteroid Shiva, which is adding to that energy of like dissolution, conversations which allow things to move on. It can help bring a lot of closure to things that have been at play on Monday, really helping end a cycle. And it can give you the courage to really speak up, to move past old patterns, to really understand your personal power in any situation, and the ability to overcome obstacles. This is a moon, I feel like it's very much focused on work, on order, and on responsibility and the people you deal with in that arena. Now, Tuesday, 2nd of September, the moon moves out of Scorpio into Sagittarius, and it's going to start the day in Mula Nakshatra. Now, Mula aligns the moon with the galactic center, which is the center of our universe. This can be a day of destruction, but destruction is both positive and negative. So I'll give you some tips on like how to work with it. So destruction is positive today in the way where you might use this moon to break through things, to break down things, to get to the bottom of a situation that's been going on. Where it can be negative is where we start to be self-destructive, kind of like a dog with a bone, and we won't really hear the people around us, and we take things just a little bit too far. Now, there can be gains when we use this destructive energy correctly to kind of break through what's been going on. And you can find that this moon is focused on exercising this destructive energy towards figures of authority, your father, father-like figures, even people who have a religious bent to them, people you see as having more power than you, people you see as your teacher, or even someone you constantly compare yourself to because you think they're luckier or they've got more than you. This moon is helping you get to the root of what that is about. And it's more about you than it is about them. And so it can actually help you let go of that cycle. It's also a day where, on the back of that destruction, new creation can take place. You might find today that you're traveling, you're called to really expand your mind, to be a bit philosophical, to open up to understanding something new, or really getting to the root of an issue. Now, on Wednesday, the 3rd of September, the moon moves into Purva, which is still in Sagittarius. This is a day that's deeply purifying. It can feel like things are just being washed away. It's really calling for you in that spirit to move with the greater flow of life, to go like water. And there can be actually a call to connect with water. You might find that like you really feel like having a bath today, or like you want to get into the ocean or be in nature, be in running water and really feel that purification that that element has upon your body. Now, Purva is ruled by Venus. Yes, it's in Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter, but this particular part of Sagittarius is ruled by Venus, and Venus is sitting in Cancer in Pusha, which means that Wednesday is actually very deeply spiritual. You can feel that there's a call to worship, to initiate sadhana, to even just find it a little bit easier to connect to that higher self, that goddess, that God, the divine within. It's almost like that connection just, it's a little bit less challenging today. And in fact, you can find that this call to connect with something higher than you can be brought on by a sense of needing to let go, of something dying, of something needing to be shared, or just the sense of feeling uncomfortable, which is left over from Tuesday. It's almost like as an anecdote for that, wanting to dive deeper into the self. Also on Wednesday, Mars, which is in Virgo, it's going to move out of Hasta, which is the hands, into Chitra nakshatra until the 24th of September. Now, Mars in Chitra is all about building, accumulating merit, following what is dharmic. And as such, it can bring about a new sense of directional motivation in your work. It's still very detail oriented. It can be a little bit anxious, so just know that. But there can be a desire um, to really be honored for the work that you're doing, to allow yourself to receive recognition for the way that you serve, particularly if you find it hard to take a compliment or hard to really listen to people when they actually give you a compliment. Um, and you can find also there's a call during this period from the 3rd of September through to the 24th to build something new. Um, and there might even be an opportunity that comes up, um, or an opportunity that you've felt within you kind of brewing since the 13th of August. And now it's like, it needs to happen, it needs to be created. And so that can be literally building something, like building a building, designing something, even just craft, writing a book, or giving birth to a new project. It's the actual doing of something that's happening during this time. Now, Chitra is ruled by Mars, which means there's a really big sense of courage happening in all of this. There's the stamina and the energy to initiate creation, particularly if you've been feeling a little bit stuck. It's also a great time to just back yourself, like realize that you actually are good at leading. And that might be where people give you compliments, but it's like really backing yourself as a leader. And at a collective level, I'll just say, like, I think at a collective level, while Mars is in Chitra till the 24th of September, there'll be a big focus on military power, on hearing news about maybe new weapons that are created, or even the destruction of a weapon that's no longer, no longer needed. And we might even hear news of contracts related to the selling of weapons between nations. So just be aware that's almost like the unhealed version of Chitra that's sitting out in the collective. At the same time, Mercury is still going to be square Uranus. So, yeah, so just know that there can still be unexpected news that comes up on Wednesday, or events that um collective events that bring out that exchange of military weapons or military might. On Thursday, the 4th of September, the moon is going to be moving between Sagittarius and Capricorn, and it will be in a nakshatra called Uttara Ashada. Now, this can be a day where you reach the pinnacle of something. And that doesn't necessarily, it's like something you reach the pinnacle of, but you haven't necessarily put a whole lot of effort behind. So just enjoy the rewards of just things that are karmic. Like you haven't done a whole lot, it hasn't been a whole lot of sweat, but you get to enjoy it. You can find that there's recognition, there's support, and even new alliances that pop up. You can even find that you achieve something dharmic that has long-term effects in your life. Now, don't look for the big things, but this might just be something small that happens in your day to day where it's like, just like appreciating that. You can find also that there's something within you that you just can't suppress anymore, that you can no longer subdue, and it wants to come out and online now. Um, and you can find that spiritually, that feels like the divine qualities within almost taking over or becoming bigger than maybe the desires that have been plaguing you, that have been making you really unhappy, the kind of lower nature. It's a day to really pay attention as well to like new talents that you're fostering within you, particularly creative talents. There can be a really strong longing to be creative. And at the same time, there can also be a longing today to just spend some time alone, to really just find yourself alone. And you might use that creative pursuit to create that alone time. It's also a day where you might just want to live a little bit more simply than normal, particularly after the beginning of last week. realizing that you don't need as much as you thought you did. And maybe life will offer that for you. Just seeing the simplicity in not having everything and not having a lot and how much joy that comes from that. That said, this is also a day where there can be endings. It's kind of a theme through the week, transformation and secrets that can no longer be suppressed, particularly related to partnerships coming up. The moon will be with Pluto. So there is deep transformation. It can almost feel like in all of this, like this purging of things that just don't serve you, particularly partnerships or energy around partnerships that don't serve you. Now, also on Thursday, Venus is going to enter Ashleisha Nakshatra, part of Cancer, the final part of Cancer. For those of you that have been hanging out with me for a couple of weeks, you probably heard me talk about Ashleisha, particularly when we've been talking about Mercury retrograde that happened in July and August. But Venus will enter Ashleisha on until the 15th of September, and Ashleisha is the claw of the crab. It's where the poisons of Cancer are stored. And so this is really a period of taking note of where there's still codependency in relationships. Even the poisons that you're inflicting upon your partners subconsciously and also upon the partnership you have with yourself. It's also a period of resolution, working through energy, coming to understand how you might need to change and open on the back of the experience of seeing these poisons. Like, you can't change your partner, you can't change your friend, you can't change your family, you can't change the world. The only thing you can do is change your view. And that really is a lot of going within, which this Venus in Ashleisha promises. Now, Mercury rules Ashleisha. Yes, it's in Cancer, but Mercury rules this part of Cancer. And he's 2 houses away, which says that the heart of this toxic energy coming up is really around a sense of not being enough, of feeling unworthy in relationships. And you can find that's where that toxic kind of poisonous energy is coming from. And it can materially manifest as conversations around money that's owed, or things you think you're owed by another party, or things you think you owe someone else in order to have them love you. Now, the call with Venus in Ashleisha until the 15th of September is really to be selfless as best you can, to really notice where you're the problem. That's the only thing you can see, like to see where your thoughts are the problem and where you're hurting you in partnerships. Um, this energy is going to build from Thursday and it will get very, very strong on the 14th to 15th of September when she'll be Gandanta. And I'll talk about that when we get to it. Friday, the 5th of September, the moon is in Shravana Nakshatra. It's a part of Capricorn. Shravana is the ear. So this is a day to listen, to get quiet, to hear what's really being said. And you can find that you've got the patience to do that. The moon will be in Shravana from late on Thursday evening in Australian Eastern Standard Time until around 6 p.m. on Friday. And it's a moon that through listening, we can build connection with other people. We can bring people together. It's almost like that listening and being like, that feels like there's an opportunity for this person to meet this person. And you can find that you're the web that joins them. You can also find it's a day where you're able to, in your own silence, connect wisdom or connect the dots of what's been going on in your life if things haven't really made sense. Um, and you can also find that you're someone being connected to someone else new or to an opportunity. Also, be aware this is a day which can bring praise, it can bring sage advice, and it can almost feel like our guru is speaking to us through the people around us. We just have to have the ears to hear. Now, also on Friday, Mars is going to square Jupiter, and Jupiter will be sitting with Pravati in Gemini. So you might find today that you're given advice with that Shravana moon that actually feels like it's hindering you the direction you want to take, or this kind of sense of like this advice is almost like it feels like it's contradictory to what you want to do. So just notice that tension and listen to the advice and almost just go slow today. Don't see it as trying to stop what you're doing. um Really listen, because there's a lot of sage advice today, things that you're going to need to know with what you're creating, with maybe projects that are in the works, with something that you've started to build. There is advice that will help you, but you have to be open to it, and that's really difficult when we feel like we've got a direction and a way we're going to go. This meeting also, I'd be saying, just pay extra attention to your health, particularly if you're traveling, if you're on an airplane, if you are even like traveling where there's lots of people around you. And also pay attention to the health of your father or paternal figure if he's close to you, because it feels like this is a day where you might just need to give, like, you know, take a few extra supplements, rest a little bit more, really listen to your body, and take things a bit slower. Collectively, this is a day that will bring news which affects actions on a world stage, even communication that brings something to an end that's kind of been a bit of a plague. We finish the week with Saturday, 6th of September. The moon moves into Dhanishta, which means it's moving from Capricorn to Aquarius. This is a moon, a day where the mind wants to tune in and listen to the beat of its own drum, particularly if it feels like you've been following what everyone else wants all week. You hit Saturday and it's like, I need to listen to this, like to the truth, to the sound of my own drum, to the sound of my own music. And this is also a moon that can connect us to music. You might find you're going to a concert, or you feel the call to like turn the music up really loud when you're driving. There's something in listening to music for the mind in this position. It's a day that can give abundance and fame. It can bring friends together as well. A day really of connecting, of enjoying compliments, of being recognized by your friendship group, and also finding peace in allowing yourself to be the center of attention. Finding peace in sharing your light with the other people in your life without needing to dim it. And also at the same time, Mercury is going to enter Purva Phalguni, which I spoke about at the beginning with the sun entering Purva Phalguni. And so with Mercury entering the same nakshatra, it makes that energy stronger. And he's going to be there till the 13th of September. And it's a part of Leo, like I said at the beginning. It just means that there is a massive focus on relationships on Saturday afternoon through to Sunday and through to the 13th of September. But it's also still giving us hints as to what's coming with eclipse season, and which is going to have a big focus on relationships. So as Mercury moves here and the moon is in Dhanishta, it's time to really enjoy your friendships. On Saturday, you can find that there's lively conversation, which can turn to debate. Just notice where you're maybe being a bit too fixed in your opinion or not willing to like listen to what other people have to say, something I've got to work on. This is also a period where there can be a big focus on speaking with our partners, on creating new energy in our relationships, even discussions around children or what you might want to create with someone else. There can be discussions around union, contracts you hold, and even if you know there's something you've been needing to talk about, Venus will again be sitting 12 houses from Mercury. So this means that this might be on Saturday evening, but through to the 13th of September, where you're thinking, what contract do I want to end? What union is not serving me? And internally, this is all about the union within. So it's like, where am I? Maybe, where do I need to go in more? Where do I need to love more? Where am I looking for that outside of myself when actually it's something I need to give to me? So there can be a big release in partnership. That's this week. If you want to go deeper into your own chart, I am going to be away through September, but I'm back to October and my calendar is open for October. And we can do like a one-on-one reading. Otherwise, join me for Unlock the Eclipse season if you just want to get like a little bit of a reading for what's going on with eclipse season. Um, and I'll also put together a little video on YouTube just on the eclipse and what you can expect. And I'll link it to this video when it's live. But I'm wishing you a wonderful week of exploring what love and relationship and partnership really is.